Hello, welcome back to the Divine Alignment. I'm Edward. It's a pleasure to have you here as usual. We're here on my rooftop in Crete. You might hear the sound of the church singing in the background. Maybe the dogs as well, the cicadas. And I want to speak today about the importance and the power that we have to create when we let go. When we really shed, even destroy what needs to be shed and let go of to allow space for the new to emerge. And I'll explain this a little bit, and I'll also give you a little practice, a little tuning and exercise to connect with that. So there's so much craziness going on in the world right now. We see that on the surface, of course. We're being divided left, right and center in our thinking, in our behaviors. And underneath that, there's this process of realignment that's happening. We're being invited to reconnect, to realign with our true self, our true nature, our higher self, if you want to call it, our most natural self. This whole process of alignment is really coming home to our alignment with our nature as beings of the earth, as beings of the cosmos. We're kind of stepping into a new self, continuously changing, continuously dying and being reborn, continuously shifting, transforming. It's just an endless process of change and transformation. And I don't know if you've been feeling this, but I've been feeling a bit stuck, kind of waiting for something to happen, feeling like there was a bubble that needed to burst in order for me to emerge even more into the light, if you want. And while that could be a reality, what was also true, what I realized, was that in waiting like this, without acting, without observing what I needed to change or let go of, I was actually kind of stuck and feeling very powerless. And it made me realize that we often think of power, or at least I used to think of power as purely something of moving forward and moving toward and creating and adding into our life. When our power is also deciding and choosing what is no longer resonant with us, what no longer is true for us, and shedding that and letting go of that. And in a sense, even destroying that in the most creative way. I'll give you a couple of examples maybe. Imagine that you have a few clients, you're either a coach, a consultant, I don't know, a therapist, and there's one particular client that, although they are a big chunk of income, a big chunk of money, you do not resonate with them at all. You don't enjoy the work with them at all. They don't receive you, they don't understand you, you just don't connect in that sense. Now, when you pluck up the courage to perhaps let go or minimize this particular client, it creates a space for new clients to come. It creates a vacuum for fresh energy to come in. And we're at this point in time in our evolution when this happens and life fills that void. Like when you see wildfires, for example. There was a wildfire a couple of years ago, not too far from here, and it ravaged the whole valley. And yet, not long after, new growth started to appear. Fresh sprouts, fresh plants, green grass started to kind of appear amongst the cracks, and eventually took over the whole forest. And that's what we're being invited to do right now, is to set fire to what is no longer working in our lives, in our ways of thinking, our ways of being, our ways of acting, in our habits, our behaviors, in our relationships, and on a wider scale in the collective. We're setting fire to what does not work, the systems, the structures, the ways of thinking that are not working, our disconnection from nature, our disconnection from each other. I'll give you a second example. Imagine someone that's so fixated on a certain way of making money, a certain way of working, trying to push, trying to force themselves into that direction. Maybe it's something that worked in the past, but recently been feeling that it doesn't really resonate. And that try as they might and push as they might, it's not working anymore. That's another example of something that can be dissolved and let go of, that way of thinking. And I've had an experience myself recently, and also with one of my clients, when the moment they let go of that prison, that trap, that old way of thinking, this fresh energy came through, this fresh understanding, so much more powerful and alive and real and true and energizing. And it gave them a completely new direction for their work that was already there, they'd already been working on it, working with it, creating and planting the seeds for it, but it just wasn't in their awareness because they were so fixated on the old structure, the old way of thinking. So by setting fire to that, the new growth could come through. So I hope that makes sense as to what I'm saying. It's a very simple insight, a very simple piece of wisdom, but that is super powerful. Another way to understand this is we often talk about the law of attraction, right? The law of attraction, as we're told, we manifest things, we create things by embodying or being a certain vibration, by visualizing it and focusing on it and having certain affirmations. Great. But when we're doing that, and whether that works for you or not, if you're still focused on a certain way that this has to come, if you're still focused on a certain type of client that you have to work with, if you're still focused on the current job that you're doing as a way to make money, this current way, if there's no space to allow the new to emerge, to allow what you really want to come to you, it's never going to happen. And so letting go and shedding, and I would even go as far as saying destroying, but in the most divine and potent sense. Destroying things that maybe you've built over years. There's that beautiful expression in writing, you're killing your darlings, and now is the time to kill your darlings. Your darlings may have passed their sell-by date. They might not be useful anymore. They might have had and given you so much, and maybe not. I've had many darlings, in my work, things that I imagine and dream and create, and I'm like, yes, it's going to be amazing, and have this vision. And I'm coming to this stage now, especially this year, the past weeks, where I'm just letting go of all of that stuff and being really connected to what actually is here and where I'm called to be operating and living. And planting those darlings, maybe come back to them at a later stage, but for now really focusing on where I need to go. So that's the invitation for you as well, is to really check in with yourself, and we'll do a bit of a practice now for this, to check in, what am I being called to let go of, to shed, to kill, to set fire to, in order for what to happen? What's the sense? What's the energy, the consciousness, the experience, the reflection that I can perceive perhaps and taste that's wanting to emerge through me? So we're going to do that now as a short little practice. So for this practice, it's very simple. I'm just going to guide you through 3 stages. Those 2 stages I just mentioned, and a third stage, which is receiving a little action step. Let's call it a step, a practical thing you can do to move from where you are now, what you need to be shedding, to where you want to be, which is what is emerging. So to do this, just close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, and if you can right now. And let's take 3 deep breaths in through our nose and into the belly, out through the mouth. Number 2, out through the mouth. And number 3. And take some more breaths, some deep breaths in your own time, noticing your state change as you breathe, noticing your mind and your body relaxing. Notice your mind open, your heart open, your body open, every single cell of your body opening to receive your wisdom, your guidance, that profound, loving intelligence that lives within you. As we breathe together, we're dropping in and listening, tuning in a bit deeper to this intelligence. I'm going to invite you to ask this intelligence to show you, and you may receive guidance in many different ways. It could be an image, a glimpse of like a dream-like image, an awareness, a knowing in your heart, a feeling, a sound or a smell even, in many, many ways. But first asking this intelligence within, what is it that you need to shed right now? What is it that you need to let go of? Just dropping that question in and breathing, noticing what comes as a response, as an image, a knowing. It may just be a faint awareness or a word that comes. Whatever it is, trust it. Yeah. Take your time with this, and then when you're ready, asking this intelligence, maybe just taking a breath in between, and then asking this intelligence, what is it that is emerging for me? What is the next stage? What is this new growth that is coming through? And receiving that again as an awareness, a sense, a word, a knowing, a feeling, however it comes. Keep breathing as you receive. And then again when you're ready, and you can pause the video if you need to, if you're not ready, but when you're ready, asking as a final step to receive an action, a step, something that will help you shift. So will help you let go and shed. To breathe, receive it. Take your time. And then when you're ready, just gently opening your eyes. Okay. So with that information, however you received it, if it was an image, a word, a knowing, just a faint something, I invite you to contemplate it a bit, maybe to journal about it, because it can and it will reveal more information and wisdom as you work with it, as you express it a bit. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram. That's probably the best place. I am Edward Pike on Instagram or on YouTube, and just leave a comment and I'll do my best to respond. You can also find me on my website, thedivinealignment.be, Thank you for being here today. Pleasure to have you. And I hope this was useful. Let me know what you received from it, what it is that you're choosing to let go of, what it is that you're choosing to step into, and what's the step that you're going to be taking. Have a beautiful day, have a beautiful week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.